More Earth Science coming at you. This is Norris Teaches Science with me, Mr. Norris. Another Earth Science video. I'm still talking about stuff in the biosphere. And today I'm going to talk about biomes. So your goal for the video is by the end of it to say that I can discuss the different biomes and ecosystems. So what are the major land biomes? Remember, biomes are named based off plants, life that lives there, because plant life determines the animals there. And also plants are determined by the climate, all this stuff. So we have rainforest, deciduous forest, taigas, grasslands, deserts, and tundras. Now, deserts and tundras, I already talked about them when I talked about different types of climates. I have a different video for that. So if you want to know a little bit about those, I would go over there. I'm going to talk about the other ones now. So rainforest biomes, you can either have a temperate or a tropical rainforest. Temperate rainforests have moderate temperatures and lots of moistures. You're looking for like huge trees like cedars, redwoods, Douglas firs. You're talking about like the northwestern United States coast. Tropical rainforests, they're more closer to the equator. They're warm, they're humid, there's lots of moisture year round. There's a lot of different plant lives in the tropical rainforest. It's one of the most diverse biodiversity areas in the world. Grasslands, also sometimes called prairies, grasses and other non-woody plants. They receive about 25 to 75 centimeters of rain a year. That's why we're only going to look at grass here. Now, fires and droughts are very common in this area because it's so dry. From the droughts, the fires can spark really easily. Deciduous forest. If you don't know what a deciduous tree is, these are trees that shed their leaves each year. They're the ones that give those great colors during fall. Most trees you probably know are deciduous. At least 50 centimeters of rain per year in these types of biomes. In taigas or boreal forests, they contain coniferous trees or conifers. We also call them evergreens. Think of pine or think of like a Christmas tree. Those are what we're talking about with coniferous or conifers. They're very cold year round. It has warm in the it's very cold winters and it's warm and rainy in the summer. Now, those are some land biomes. We also have some water ecosystems, and water ecosystems fall into two categories, either being a freshwater ecosystem or a marine ecosystem. And the difference here is salt. Freshwater ecosystems have no salt, while marine ecosystems are salt water. Now, we did talk a lot about the hydrosphere in other videos and previous to this. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. But we're going to talk it as a living aspect now, not the non-living aspect. So freshwater ecosystems, we're talking about stuff like lakes, ponds, rivers, streams, and wetlands. And they're distinguished by the depth of the water, how fast the water moves, and availability of mineral nutrients, sunlight, and oxygen. Now, what is a wetland? I think wetlands are one of the most important biomes out there personally, because they do so much. Now, wetland is a transition zone between an aquatic habitat and a terrestrial habitat. So you're going to have animals that live aquatically here, but you're also going to have some land animals at the same time. Now, why are they important? Why do I think they're one of the most important ones? One, they filter and purify water. They're like a sponge. They take up pollution. They absorb it into the ground so they can purify the water. They prevent floods. They're like a barrier for flooding. It's already a flooded land, so it doesn't matter if it gets flooded more, but it can prevent other places from being flooded. It's also a barrier between storm surge. Say you have storm surge that come up, different, and it blocks it so it doesn't go further inland. It's an important wildlife for habitat. Sometimes these are like nurseries for some fish or small animals, and there's economic benefits to them because it prevents us from losing houses for flooding. There's really a good reason to have wetlands. Marine ecosystems, they're identified by the presence of salt water. These include like estuaries, coral reefs, oceans, and ice caps. So, what are estuaries? This is another marine, another water ecosystem that I think is really important. It is a marine ecosystem. It's where the fresh water of the river meets the salt water of the ocean. So we kind of call this water brackish because it's a mixture of the two. Um, it's a great habitat for marine organisms to mate. So this is sometimes where like um, fish come to mate or even dolphins just because it's just an easier place. It's also a nursery for young marine organisms. Sometimes sharks will swim into an estuary, have their babies, and swim away because they don't take care of the babies. They just birth the babies and they allow the young grow up in here before they go out into the big ocean. But this is a little bit about the different biomes on Earth. There's a whole bunch out there. Go look up what animals live in all these different biomes. And I hope you learned something today. And this is Miss Norris, and I'm signing out for this video.